Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to the Patchwork scenario for Railway Empire here on the PS4. And I've decided to go ahead and put the distillery in because there aren't really that many options given the commodities that we have, or the products that we have nearby, without spending a lot of money on buying access to Switzerland down here, where we gain access to our grains and then gain access to wool, which even then would still be a bit of a long trek all the way up through here. We've got the fruit here, we might as well go ahead and do that. And even though Stuttgart isn't going to need that for quite some time, and especially not Freiburg over here, or even Karlsruhe, because I think you need about 57,000 people, I think, for the distillery to start shipping goods to. We have got a freight connection back and forth between here and Worms, so we can ship the alcohol off that way. So let's go ahead and drop in our distillery just there. There we go. This is starting to get quite busy as well, so I'm also going to expand the station like that. There we go. Get an extra set of tracks available. So we've now got 4 platforms for our trains to run through. Now we need to connect that fruit up. So we'll get a small station. Where do I want this to actually connect in? That is the question, isn't it? I guess over here would be the best way. If I do it like this, I'm actually going to curve around the farm itself, so that I could then have that option of then shipping out in multiple directions, because there will come a point where we'll need to ship fruit out to our other towns as well, just as a fruit on its own commodity. So we'll take care of that this way. There we go. Pop around here. Probably just about space in there for an extra set of points. And we'll run some fruit into Stuttgart. There we go. Again, we'll go with a trusty 3B. We've got an applicant for a stoker and a security guard. Let's hire them both. And we'll put them both on this train. There we go. Alright. Actually, let's also put a refrigerator car on there as well, just for that extra little bit of cash. So we're up to about 15 million, which is a very nice, cushy amount of cash to have. We're getting ready to start pushing over into the Brandenburg territory. Now, that territory on its own is 4 million. So that's going to leave us with about 11 million left. We need to start working on that express connection, but we also want to try and put Beat out of business, and we can't do that until we have access to this territory. So let's buy that now. Now I should be able to try and put her out of business. And immediately she's gone ahead and she's bought some of our shares, and we can start buying shares in her company. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy 65% shares right now. Just watching her value fluctuate just a touch. I should have gone straight away. Never mind. Let's also go back into the finance, and we can certainly give ourselves another big chunk of cash if we pay that off. And then, let's see, let's do it again. I can now put her out of business straight away. I could have done it with probably just the one. Okay, so let's merge. Oh, I just bought in the wrong company. Didn't I? Oh, I tried to merge with... Yeah, I tried to merge... Her company dropped down a ranking, and then I tried to merge with France. I don't have any of his shares. So, yeah, there we go. Let's merge with her. I'm going to... keep everything for now.
How dare you throw me out of business? You should be ashamed of yourself.
I should have liquidated, actually. Looking at this, it's a bit of a mess. Yeah, I should have liquidated. Never mind. All right, let's... at least this means I keep the businesses that she owns and the local product businesses as well. Yeah, so the local stuff, you know, in terms of the suppliers, as well as... you know, any sort of businesses in towns as well. I own all of those and scrap everything else. She's got these older stations which we can't upgrade. We have to kind of there we go. We can't upgrade those, unfortunately. We just have to replace them entirely. But we'll have access to everything that she owns. So if she owned outside of this territory, which she might have done, I don't know if she did or not, we'll have access to that. I mean, that's a lot of space, isn't it? Oh yeah, she's definitely got more than one territory. So we now own all of those, which is good. Land is in a locked area. Ah, that's interesting. So we can't actually take some of that stuff out. Very interesting. That's in the locked area as well. Well, let's clear out Berlin. So we've got all of that there. Now this could cause some issues with us trying to build over to Berlin. We might have to try and connect to our other area first, all those other areas first. Hope that's not the case. Let's get rid of all this bits of track. A little bit over here as well. Yeah, I should have liquidated everything. That would have made things so much easier. Right. We need to build this up to our network bit by bit. This is going to take a long time to figure out, I think. But we do have our sort of open station connection over here. Now we need to get a an express connection from Cologne all the way through to Berlin, and we'll look at doing a direct route. That's Bremen. Where is Berlin? Ah, there we go. So Berlin is there. Berlin's going to become a bit of a hub for us. Oh, that's the Brandenburg Gate, look. Wow, that's actually in as a landmark. That's cool. All right, we're going to put 2 stations in here if we can. I'm going to have a through station and a terminal station, I think. It's just a question of whether I can actually squeeze that in. The landmark is proving a bit of a pain for us. I might have to... And I don't actually have ownership of the... Alright, there might be an easier way to do this. I need to delete the Brandenburg Gate. I should hopefully be able to put it back in again. I really hope I can put it back in again. Small station. Let's put a small station in there. And here we go, look. We can't do that because we haven't connected to Cottbus. which is here. So I'm going to have to run a single track connection, easy as we can, just to connect all of that other stuff to our network. There we go. Right, now, in theory, I should be able to build in Berlin. Yes, there we go. So, can I take the Brandenburg Gate out? Possibly not. No, it's a permanently locked thing. So that really messes things up a bit. All right. Let's put a terminal station there, and then I suppose another terminal station over here as well. We can't connect that because we haven't connected this station yet. Alright. Let's try that again. Oh, it also turns out that I hadn't built terminal stations with signal control, which would have been a problem. Right. Just run a single track over to our existing network. There we go. Right, now I can build the terminal station that I want over here. Just. There we go. Now that's going to connect to Brandenburg and Magdeburg. But I'm also looking at how we can get our express connection in, running over to Cologne. Ideally, I'd like to have another access to another station somewhere over here, but with businesses in the way and the size of these stations, it's just not really possible. If I'd known in advance, I could have planned for that, but I had no idea that we'd have to connect to Berlin. Well, I suppose I should have probably seen it coming. It's Berlin, after all. It's the capital city. I'm just looking at where I can actually run an express line through. Now I'm thinking if we bring this down this way, across the river here, this way maybe, around here, cut through the mountain, that could work. We'd need to put some bypasses in, I think. Create a main sort of trunk line, and then have loops off that would connect. That might be trickier. It might be easier said than done. Let's see if we can actually do this. So this is going to want to kind of connect over here. Looking where the signals are. We bring that in like that. A lot of tinkering with the line to do. Bring it up like that. Let me access, there we go. Push it up there. That's not really far enough away at this point from Magdeburg. Okay. We can fine-tune this as we go, but just trying to get the basic bit right. Then we'll cut through this mountain here, connect up there. We'll expand good to slow. Oh, it's already a 4-track station. Ah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, we'll connect here, and then these lines we will use to branch out up to here, so up towards Hanover, and then we can sort of run a connection through that way, connecting through those areas there. And if I go like that, I can then also bring the line off here and then connect off to Castle that way. So this is going to be a very, very long line. And we're going to have to run express trains on this initially just to get that objective done. Then we can then switch it over to freight once that objective is out of the way. And turn it into a main sort of freight trunk line. Looking to cut through there. That looks okay height-wise. How much is it going to cost me at the moment? Not cheap. Cut down the height, because those bridges could potentially be a little problematic. Can't really do anything about that one, but that's okay. Bring this across here. Let's drop this down in height. Push that out a bit more. Nice gradual curve. And again there. Cut through the hill a little bit. No bridges. I'm kind of happy with that. Apart from the end bit. It goes in on the wrong platform. It needs to go in on the end platform there. There we go. So, we double this up. All the way through here. Where it's going to come up with some kind of issue in the mountains. Nope, okay, we're good. So, we have the connection. Establish an express connection between Berlin and Cologne. Okay. Let's get some signals in place. This is a really long run as well, so I tell you what I should have done. So I should have put in a maintenance station or two. If I put a block there and a block there. Damn it, it took the entire line out. Ah, I did not want to do that. Let's try this again. There we go, that's better. This is an incredibly long stretch of track. So let's put in a maintenance station. We put it in here. This can also potentially act as a point between Brunswick and Magdeburg as well. Potentially. Depends how I decide to route those trains. Just the top line or the bottom line? It's the top line. Which means that needs to move up one. It's still a really long line. I'm wondering if it might be better to put one in there as well, but I'm going to hold off on that. I can put in supply towers. I think that's a good point for a halfway point maintenance line. Because trains are going to need it. That's for sure. A line this long. Alright, there we go. So, we have our express line all the way through there. Let's do some signals. This is going to take a while. It's going to take a very long while. La 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 la. There we go. Got to check all of these, make sure they're all okay. It's going to get messy around the tunnel. Yep, there we go, look. Getting very messy already. So let's go to manual signalling. The lines have actually become a little bit disconnected from each other along there, which is why that's happened, I think. That tunnel looks different. It's a stone tunnel. I'm not used to seeing those. I think we'll leave it like that. That's okay, that's okay. That is not... I don't think that's going to work, but... I'm going to try supply tower there. I'm also going to just push these a bit closer together. Move that in a bit further. There we go. So supply tower, supply tower, supply tower. I'm going to want one over here. All the way over here. This is a very long run. Let's signal this stretch of track first of all. Look how long that stretch of track is. Definitely going to want a very fast express train for this. Okay, supply tower in place. I also need that to have a maintenance shed, because again, incredibly long run. Plenty of supply towers through there, and then eventually we'll make its way to Cologne, where it'll need to be serviced in Cologne as well. Wow, this is a huge route. Cologne to Berlin. Needs to be passengers and mail to be an express. What is my fastest freight train? Passenger train? Do I even have an express train? Yeah, the Holder. Sure, the Holder is an express train. Yes, there we go. The Holder is my express. And trains breaking down in bad condition all through here. Nope, they're just slow from missing equipment. Did I not put a supply tower? I guess not. No supply tower on that run. Alright, let's drop one in there. That's my bad condition breakdowns. Over here. That makes a bit more sense. Let's put a maintenance shed there. Cologne to Berlin. I want a stoker. I want a conductor, and I want a conductor that's going to give me a boost as well. I also want an engineer. Perfect. Would have done the cars. This is going to be an insanely long trip. And unfortunately, it doesn't have priority, so this could possibly stop it from becoming an express. It's having to wait behind the slower train in front as well. It's going to be like this for the first little bit, just as we get through to Gütersloh. Once we clear Gütersloh, it's just clean, plain sailing, open track all the way through to Berlin. So until that point, we're kind of going to get stuck. We might need to put in a side loop, sort of heading off that way, which bypasses the towns. Just wondering how I could do that. I mean, I could perhaps bring a line down here, which would then... Actually, that's not a bad idea, is it? Oh, it's Castle. Yeah, there's Cologne. So we can maybe bring a line peeling off here, and then come down this way, and just go elevated across here. Raise tracks and then sort of cut through that way. One possible route. I'm hoping this is going to work. I'm only going to get a couple more of these trains running. It might take a couple of trips before it even registers it as an express as well. Nice big turn of speed through here. Lots and lots of mail, only one passenger car. Worms has grown, excellent stuff. Through the tunnel, and now we should have our split coming off, and now it'll just be open roads all the way there, and we're going to stop here for a top up. Nope, carrying straight on through. Look, over the bridge, through the tunnel. Another little bridge. And clean roads all the way through to Berlin from here on in. It's probably about time for us to get another one of those running. We'll leave that, and hopefully that'll register. So we also need to secure access to 16 areas, have 10 cities with a population of at least 120,000. Well, we've already got a few of those up here. It's just, you know, we need to kind of rework these a little bit. Let's start by dropping museums into these. That'll help straight away. I can't believe Berlin is still such a low density city. That's Weimar. That's our connection through to Kassel there. We just put a museum in here, didn't we? Yes, we did. Right. We need to sort all these trains out. They're all a bit of a mess. Let's start by figuring out where everything is. I also want to see what we've got in each city. So we've got a brewery and a bakery. Berlin has a bakery and a clothing business. There we've got meat and we've also got sauerkraut. There's only a couple of cities actually connected. I know we took a few connections out. You know, Brandenburg's not connected anymore, but yeah, that's something we can connect to. That's also got a bakery. There's too many bakeries. Way too many bakeries. So we need to figure out how we can mix things up a bit in terms of some of these businesses. You can see we've got all these cities through here and they've all got bakeries as well. Look, we just don't need that many bakeries. We really don't. So let's figure out what is where and what we can use to our advantage. This is a candy store, but there's no fruit anywhere nearby. I'm assuming we needed fruit for that. Yeah, we need fruit, and there isn't any fruit that I can see close by. There's one up there, but it's in a territory we don't own. I'm going to get rid of this bakery. Oh, they've got tons and tons. Yeah, I'm just going to have to pay for it. Alright, let's demolish the bakery. The tailors I might well keep. But we have salt here. I'm looking to see if we have meat nearby. We've got meat there near Leipzig. I think Leipzig will do meat and then do a smokehouse as well. That might be a good way to go. There's got beer there. So we've got grain there, which would make Berlin an obvious choice for a bakery, but we don't need a bakery there, and there, and there, and there, and there. And we've got, you know, grain right there. So Brandenburg's going to be... Oh, it's Magdeburg, sorry. Magdeburg or Brandenburg will have a bakery. Either of those two. We've also got beer nearby, so because we've kind of put in terminus stations... What we'll do is we'll run a beer business here in Brandenburg instead of a candy factory. So let's buy this. There we go. And demolish. And now we want a brewery. Stick it to the side, out of the way. Should probably put my station in here before I get too carried away with what I'm doing. I'm going to build the station at this angle so that this can loop in here, and then it's a nice easy run here to Magdeburg. And it won't let me do that yet because I haven't connected Brandenburg. That's where it gets frustrating. Let's go with that. There we go. Bring that off up to there. And again, I've got options now with the way I connect my tracks up. These lines can come down here, you see, and join in over here. So we've now got a sort of a fast route over to Berlin. Like so. There we go. Ow. Ah, now that's going to potentially be an issue. We might have to relocate that. We'll leave it as is for now. Brunswick. And then Hanover. If we do Brunswick like that, so again we can go with the same principle. Pull that away from the hill a little bit more. Get a nice little through line running. And then these lines can come down here and connect to the main express line out to Berlin, like so. I guess we'll just have two trains coming out there. Or I could move those lines up to those two there. Got a few options in that respect, and then again we can then run a train from here across to Hanover. So let's do that. And again, I'm going with large stations so that I can run... Oh, actually, I'm looking at the terrain. Yeah, I want to be able to run commodities in from different angles. So we go like that. And I'll leave the top line there for commodity trains. For getting in and goods in and out of each of those cities, or also for potentially running a line up to Bremen up there as well, and then Offenburg on the other side. So we're starting to take ownership of these towns again and start to take some shape around here. I need to really figure out this bit over here. I can actually get rid of this line now. Don't need that there anymore. Now that we have this little bit of connection just here. Definitely need to rework Cottbus. That train can't go anywhere, so we're going to take that train out. That's a broken train, so we're going to take that one out. Also a broken train. And another one. These are trains that no longer have any kind of route plan worked out properly. Getting rid of those could be handled a little bit better, but it's just easier for me to just get rid of them. Again, money's not an issue, so it doesn't matter if we lose a little bit of cash. Let's let that run through a moment. Loads of staff. Let's hide them all. We can use them. I got some points. Oops. There we go. What do we have here? Increase the number of applications from dodgy people. Yes, we'll do that because then we can get the auction one sorted. An inventor. We'll hire an inventor. Don't need any of those. Not an express train yet. Nor's that, because they're still on their first run through. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well this does as an express on the return loop. See if it actually gets that classification. Might have to build another line that comes out this way and then just sort of goes over the top of everything and goes into clone to link up here. I'd rather not do that because that will be very expensive. But you know, if we have no other choice, then so be it. We've got another broken train. Let's take that out. So, need a second business. Oh no, Berlin is not high enough for a second business because it's devolved. So it's less than 40,000 at the moment. Okay, that's fine. Brandenburg. So we've got a brewery that needs to be plugged in. We've got wood. Oh, that's outside of our territory. Okay, it's a bit of a shame. These two commodities. Can I tag these with a single large station? Okay, it's going to have to be like that then. I wonder. What's going to be the best way for me to route these trains? Build the track like that, I think. Let's bring that right down like that. And of course we have to put crossovers on these ones because this is a standard original style station. No auto signalling on this one. And then now I can bring this down here. This is let's see, okay. If I go like that. The reason I'm bringing it around this way is because we want to be able to ship that grain over to Berlin as just as a grain commodity, which means we also need to have a linking line just here. I'll try and keep track reasonably straight, no nasty kinks in it. There we go. Yes, we could have gone this way and then around that way, but I think coming out this way and that way is going to be quicker in general. Plus we do need the ability to go off this way as well. So we can start running the grain into here. Not for the bakery, but because I don't think there's going to be a bakery in this town once I'm done, but just for the commodity in general. So there we go. Starting to come together bit by bit, and we will continue this next time out, because once again we are out of time. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with more of the Patchwork scenario for the Germany DLC on Railway Empire very soon.